He's crushed on his childhood bestie for years, but never had the guts to confess. So he takes an indirect route to win over her bestie, setting up a meeting in the music room. But when he opens the door, his dream girl is there, and this cold beauty pins him right onto the piano.
Her eyes are red, and she looks like a totally mistreated, adorable little kitten.
Fang Zheng, why can't you only have eyes for me? Oh, and his name is Fang Zheng. He's just a normal computer science student at Giant University with only one not-so-ordinary thing about him. And that is having a childhood best friend he grew up with literally since they were in diapers. Her name is Bai Ruxue, and honestly, this girl has a face that could literally stop traffic. She has skin as pale as snow and beautiful crescent eyes. Cute dimples show up when she smiles, but she's got a super aloof and cold personality. She barely speaks, acting like a rare snow lotus you could only admire from a safe distance. But he's the only one who knows her ears blush red whenever she acts all cold. How she secretly clutches her clothes when teased, and her biggest secret of over 10 years, she is terrified of thunder. The two of them have been inseparable since birth, literally born in the exact same delivery room, going to the same preschool, elementary school, and middle school. Now they've both entered Giant University, where she's the gorgeous goddess of the art department. She plays the piano brilliantly and naturally commands the spotlight wherever she goes. As for him, just average grades and pretty basic looks. His only real strength is his sheer patience, happily following her around for over a decade. Honestly, his unrequited love is pretty sad because he just doesn't dare to confess. He is terrified of ruining their friendship, which honestly is the biggest fear of any childhood crush. Fearing his over 10 years of devotion is just taken for granted as simple friendship. Until last month, when he spotted a certain photo on her social media feed. She was standing next to the art department's most handsome guy, looking like a perfect couple. They looked so good together that he couldn't sleep a wink that entire night. His mind was completely filled with images of the two of them, and let me tell you, jealousy hits hard! Eventually, he figured that to get closer to Bai Ruxue, he needed to start with her friends. Her absolute best friend is Anran, who is the complete polar opposite of Bai Ruxue. Outgoing, bubbly, and full of fiery energy. Plus, she's the ultimate gossip queen who literally knows every single rumor on campus. He thought if he could win Anran over, she'd whisper good things about him to Bai Ruxue. Maybe then his longtime crush would finally blossom. And then, one afternoon, he waited outside the art department building and finally caught up with Bai Ruxue. She had just finished piano class, carrying her instrument bag. Her long hair flowed as the setting sun cast a beautiful golden glow over her, making his heart completely skip a beat before she suddenly stopped in her tracks. Her cold voice had a tiny, barely noticeable hint of softness to it. He steadied himself, trying his absolute best to act completely cool and casual. He asked her for a favor, and she just raised an eyebrow for him to continue. Could she ask Anran to meet him in the piano room tomorrow afternoon at 2? He had something to tell her, trying to keep his voice completely natural. Yet his palms were sweating, and Bai Ruxue stared at him in silence for 3 seconds. Her gaze felt like it was reading his mind, making him feel incredibly nervous. Even in flat shoes, at 168 centimeters, she was barely shorter than him. Looking up at him slightly, she somehow gave off a totally overwhelming sense of pressure. She immediately presses him, demanding to know what he wants with that other guy. Her voice carries a strange, unreadable vibe, as Fang Zheng nervously claims he just wants to get acquainted. He makes up a totally clumsy excuse, saying he just wanted to ask about the art department. Honestly, even he knows that excuse is weak, and Bai Ruxue just stays dead silent. She just stares right through him, making him feel incredibly awkward under her quiet gaze. Right as he scrambles to think of another cover story, she suddenly nods. She actually agrees, sending his hopes soaring as he prepares to thank her. But then she drops a condition, and he immediately promises to do literally anything she wants. So what is this grand condition? Just to help her buy cat food tomorrow morning? She actually blushes after saying it, and mentioning Mimi instantly brings back old memories. Mimi is a stray cat they adopted together in high school, currently living at his off-campus apartment. Ever since they started college, he has been the one taking care of the cat. While she only drops by occasionally, he still handles most of the daily feeding.
He agrees instantly, completely overjoyed at the sudden turn of events.
To get some precious one-on-one time with her, buying cat food is nothing.
Seriously, he would literally walk through fire and climb mountains for this girl.
Without another word, Bai Ruxue just turns around and walks away.
Watching her walk away, he can't help but pump his fist in pure excitement.
He tells himself to keep pushing because the first step of his master plan is a total success.
Now these two go way back, literally since they were babies in diapers. Their families were next-door neighbors, and their moms were absolute best friends. They were even born on the exact same day, with him arriving just 3 hours earlier.
Naturally, her mom wanted her to call him Big Brother, but she has always been stubborn.
She would literally rather call him by his nickname than call him Big Brother even once.
Back then, she wasn't cold at all, but rather a super cute, energetic little follower. She used to follow him everywhere, and whenever he climbed trees to steal bird nests, she would wait below, guarding his clothes while he went fishing, and if anyone ever dared bully her, he would be the first to throw hands, even if he got completely beat up. Protecting her was always his top priority, like this one time in 3rd grade.
A classmate stole her stuff and made fun of her for not having a dad around.
Her dad worked overseas, but even with those harsh words, she refused to cry. She just stood there, with her lips pursed, her eyes holding back tears. Seeing her like that made him absolutely snap, and he immediately tackled the bully. Obviously, both boys ended up getting scolded in the principal's office afterward. But as they walked out, she handed him a sweet strawberry candy. She quietly whispered a thank you, and honestly, that moment was pure gold. That was the first time he ever saw her sweet side, and it completely melted his heart. It felt way sweeter than any candy, and from that exact day forward, he swore he would protect her forever. Then came middle school. She started learning piano, spending 2 hours practicing after school every single day. Not wanting her to be alone, he literally waited outside her practice room daily. He would do his homework there, or just peek through the window to watch her play. Watching the sunlight hit her face while her fingers danced across the keys was magical. It was like a dream, and he knew he would never forget that beautiful sight. By the time high school rolled around, she had grown into an absolute beauty. Pursuers started swarming her, some even sending flowers. Some wrote love letters, while others literally asked our boy to pass along their gifts. Every single time, Fang Zheng acted totally chill while handing them over. But inside, he was low-key dying of jealousy, wishing she would just reject them all. Thankfully, she kept everyone else at a distance, reserving her soft side just for him. Like quietly handing him a Band-Aid during sports, or when he stayed up late studying. Bringing him a cup of hot milk, and on his birthday, gifting him a hand-drawn painting. Honestly, all these little moments made him think. Maybe she actually felt the same way. But every time he wanted to confess, he choked up and swallowed his words, terrified of misreading the signs. He did not want to ruin their precious friendship, especially after graduation. She got into Juda's prestigious art program, while he barely made it into computer science. On the day the letters arrived, his brother Fang Ming, who was 10 years older and married to Bai Ruxue's cousin, patted his shoulder, calling him a lucky brat. He warned Fang Zheng not to waste this chance, since their families were already connected. His brother and her cousin actually dated for 8 long years before finally marrying. His brother always bragged that winning her over took sheer, shameless persistence. But our boy did not have that kind of confidence around his dream girl. And once college started, Bai Ruxue's popularity absolutely skyrocketed. She was drop-dead gorgeous, played the piano beautifully, and topped her classes as a certified academic goddess. Her line of simps literally stretched from the art department to computer science. But the biggest threat was the art department's top handsome guy. Word on campus was he was filthy rich, and he started pursuing her aggressively. Seeing this guy shower her with flowers daily drove Fang Zheng absolutely insane with worry. But he had 0 moves, until one fateful afternoon in the cafeteria. He spotted Bai Ruxue actually accepting a boba drink from the rival. Cue the instant panic. That was the exact moment he knew he had to act. That's when a wild plan hit him. Befriend her roommate and bestie, Anne Ran. She was the ultimate insider. If he could win her over,
He would get the inside scoop on his crush and have an ally, singing his praises to her. To pull off this high-stakes scheme,
He consulted his absolute unit of a roommate and best bro, Shi Yang.
the guy was built like a brick wall and looked super intimidating.
But he was actually a massive player who cycled through girls like laundry.
Shi Yang slapped his thigh and laughed, telling him the plan was genius.
Going the indirect route is smart, Fang Zheng, but Anran is no pushover.
You have to play your cards right. Our boy immediately begged for tips. Shi Yang told him that step 1 was simple: cater to her tastes.
Apparently, Anran had a massive sweet tooth, especially for one specific dessert.
The tiramisu from the bakery near campus. He had to bring her some daily. Step 2, act totally sincere so she does not suspect his real motive. And the absolute kicker, Bai Ruxue had to find out about it.
Make her jealous and watch how fast she panics.
Honestly, the bro was cooking, and Fang Zheng was totally sold on the plan. So he took the advice and started his daily after-school routine. He would detour to the bakery by the school gate, buying Anran a slice of tiramisu. At first, Anran was totally shocked, but eventually she got used to it. She would even chat with him for a bit, and he could feel a vibe. But Bai Ruxue was low-key annoyed that they were getting so close, watching them constantly. Every time he delivered a treat, she was standing nearby with a cold glare. Her eyes screamed disapproval, and one day, right as he handed over the cake and was about to leave, Bai Ruxue marched right up, calling out to her friend. She reminded Anran they had piano practice, making her glance over at him. She looked back at her friend, smiled, and agreed to head out right away. But just before leaving, Bai Ruxue threw a sharp look in his direction. She coldly told him that he did not need to bring cake anymore. She is apparently on a diet, which completely threw our boy off. He was thinking that Anran was not even fat, so why diet? Still, he just nodded and quietly agreed, saying he understood.
Watching them walk away side by side just left him feeling totally defeated.
Honestly, Shi Yang's jealousy strategy totally backfired and just made her treat him even colder. But our main character was not giving up, still wanting to understand her better. He stalked her social media like a detective, analyzing every single post she uploaded. He learned she loved sci-fi movies, classical music, and caring for green plants. One day, he saw a new photo on her feed of a blooming plant. She captioned it, "Finally blooming," and he immediately recognized the exact species. It was a rare succulent called a Cooperi obtusa. He instantly researched how to care for it and bought one at a local shop. But standing right outside her dorm building, he completely froze up with hesitation. What if she rejected it? Or worse, if people saw and started gossiping? Calling him a loser, trying to punch way above his weight class. So he copped out and gave the succulent to Anran to pass along. Anran teased him, saying he was way too dedicated to Bai Ruxue. She straight up asked if he liked her, giving him a massive panic attack. He aggressively waved his hands, claiming he just thought the plant looked nice. Anran gave him a knowing smirk and agreed to help him out. But then she dropped a heavy warning about her friend's super high standards. She made it clear that normal guys do not stand a single chance. He just smiled silently, already fully aware of the massive mountain he had to climb. But he simply could not move on, especially since they shared a hidden past. These two actually shared a massive moment the summer after high school ended. During a crazy thunderstorm, knowing she was deathly afraid of the loud noise, he ran straight through the pouring rain to her apartment, seeing her lights on. He spotted her sitting by the window, looking completely pale and terrified. Her eyes were full of pure panic, so he gently knocked on the glass. She froze when she saw him, but quickly pushed the window open. She asked what he was doing there, her voice visibly shaking with fear. He told her he knew she hated storms and just wanted to keep her company. And just like that, he ended up staying by her side the entire night. They're sitting on the couch, just talking, and she actually admits she's super jealous of our boy, since he's so outgoing and has a whole circle of friends. Meanwhile, she's been a total introvert, barely knowing how to talk to anyone. She even opens up about how her dad is always abroad, and things with her mom are low-key strained. Honestly, she's been carrying all this hurt inside with absolutely nobody to lean on. Our boy just sits there listening, and man, his heart is absolutely breaking for her.
He wants so badly to just hug her and comfort her, but he ends up holding back. He's terrified of scaring her off or ruining this rare, sweet moment of closeness. That night, she actually falls asleep right on his shoulder. He can smell that faint, familiar scent of her shampoo, and honestly, it's so wholesome. He's literally frozen in place, not daring to move a single muscle so he doesn't wake her. At this point, he feels like the absolute happiest guy on the planet.
And honestly, that moment seals the deal. He's completely set on marrying her.
But reality is a pain because she still keeps him at arm's length. Always hot and cold, never letting him get too close. He knows she probably cares, but it feels more like she's just used to him being there. It's comfort, not actual love. So to finally make her realize her own feelings, and to give himself a fair shot, our boy decides to trigger his master plan. He schedules a meetup with Anran in the piano room, wanting to show Bai Ruxue that he can actually move on and that she's not his only option. Talk about a play. The next morning, he plays it cool and takes Bai Ruxue out to buy cat food like they planned. They hit up a pet shop downtown, and the place is literally packed with adorable cats. Bai Ruxue immediately locks eyes with a gorgeous ragdoll cat right as they walk in. She squats down by the cage, looking at the kitty with the softest eyes. And she's got this tiny, sweet smile that just melts him on the spot. His heart absolutely melts, so he whips out his phone to secretly snap a picture of her, capturing that gorgeous, happy smile on camera. Seriously, she looks like an absolute angel with that sweet expression. He softly asks if she likes it, and she just nods in agreement. Since it's so cute, he suggests just buying it for her. But she shakes her head, saying she can't do it. Apparently, her cat Mimi would get super jealous. That's actually pretty adorable. Our boy just smiles and lets it go, knowing she's too loyal to her cat. With the cat food bought, they head back to his rented apartment. The second they walk in, Mimi spots Bai Ruxue and runs right over. She's rubbing against her legs and meowing, totally craving attention.
Bai Ruxue kneels down to pet Mimi, being incredibly gentle with her.
And watching them bond like that gives our boy some serious ideas.
He starts imagining what it would be like if they could actually live together in the future.
Just taking care of Mimi and living a quiet, cozy life.
Honestly, that sounds like absolute bliss, but he has to stop himself.
He immediately crushes the thought, knowing it's probably just a pipe dream. He convinces her to stay for lunch and cooks her favorite sweet and sour ribs,
along with some classic tomato scrambled eggs, though she barely eats anything.
Still, she's savoring every bite, so he nervously asks how it tastes. Fang Zheng asks her nervously, and she just nods, saying it is actually pretty delicious. Hearing that is a massive win for his heart. After finishing the food, she helps him clear the table and gets ready to head out. But right before leaving, she suddenly stops and says his name, Fang Zheng. 2 p.m., piano room. He freezes because his meeting was with Anran, but she does not even answer. A quick look, then she walks away. Staring at her back as she leaves, his head is spinning with questions.
What does she even mean by that? Is she seriously going to take the place of Ayn Rand?
By 1:50 p.m., he arrives early at the piano room, which is exclusively for art department students. The soundproofing is top tier, and the space is packed with over a dozen pianos. Every single instrument looks brand new, and he booked the private room at the very back. This is the usual practice spot of Bai Ruxue, and he quietly sits down in front of the keys. His fingers tap the keys mindlessly. He is sweating bullets. He has absolutely no idea why Bai Ruxue is showing up instead of Anran. There is no telling what she wants, but at exactly 2 p.m., the door swings open. Bai Ruxue steps inside, looking stunning in a simple white dress.
Her long hair cascades down her shoulders, and she is holding a small purse.
She freezes when she spots him, but then quickly shuts the door behind her.
And she actually locks the door. Okay, this is insane.
He nervously asks what she is doing here. He tries acting cool. No response. She just slowly walks toward him, taking her sweet time with every single step. Her aura is completely overpowering, and he can smell her sweet, familiar fragrance. It is exactly like that night, completely throwing him off his game. The room is pretty small, so she is right in front of him in seconds. She looks up, eyes completely red. Looking incredibly hurt, she demands to know why he is looking for Anran.
Her voice is literally trembling, and her eyes are filled with pure betrayal and pain.
He mumbles that he just wanted some advice, too terrified to look her in the eyes.
Keeping his head down, he listens as she snaps back about what advice needs daily cake deliveries.
And why are they meeting privately in a piano room? She is clearly getting furious now. Fang Zheng is totally speechless because he has absolutely no idea how to explain this mess. He can hardly confess that he only got close to Anran to win her own heart. She tells him to look at her, gently grabbing his chin to force his gaze up. He is forced to face her, and her fingertips feel freezing cold against him. The cold touch makes him shiver.
Seeing her teary, red eyes suddenly hits him with a massive wave of guilt.
He knows he hurt her badly, and then boom, he finally confesses he likes her. Honestly, he has been holding those words in for over 10 years, and now they are out. She freezes. Her hand slips away. Staring right at him, her eyes are full of shock. He keeps going, saying he has liked her since she gave him that strawberry candy in 3rd grade. Taking a deep breath, he confesses that he was always too terrified to tell her the truth. He was too scared of rejection and losing their friendship forever. But seeing her get close to the school hunk made him panic that he would lose her.
Fang Zheng only got close to Anran to figure out Bai Ruxue's actual feelings.
He wanted to show he could fall for someone else, blabbing it all out in one breath. Feeling a massive weight lift off his chest, he stares straight at Bai Ruxue. Waiting for a reply, but Bai Ruxue just stays completely silent. With his eyes turning red, a single tear slowly spills from the corner of his eye. Landing right on Fang Zheng's hand, Bai Ruxue calls him a total idiot. Choking up, he says he thought Fang Zheng always knew. Talk about a massive misunderstanding. Knew what? Knew that I actually like you? Sniffing softly, Bai Ruxue's voice cracks, filled with tears. But from those middle school days waiting outside the piano room to those high school fights. Since that rainy night after exams, he was always in love, and Fang Zheng is utterly stunned. His brain goes blank. No shot his crush actually liked him back this entire time. Why did you never tell me? Fang Zheng asks, his own voice shaking now. He reaches out to wipe the tears, but fear's hurting him, while Bai Ruxue looks away. Shoulders shaking, Bai Ruxue admits he was terrified Fang Zheng would take him for granted. His parents were like that, loving each other passionately when they were young, only to fall apart. Plus, his brother kept saying Fang Zheng was too dense. Clueless about feelings, but Bai Ruxue did not want to believe it. Before he can finish, Fang Zheng pulls him into a tight, desperate hug. Holding his soft body, breathing in the faint, sweet scent of his hair. Fang Zheng's eyes well up. You dummy, how could I ever take you for granted? He whispers softly in his ear, his voice cracking with emotion. I love you, and I have dreamed of being with you for over 10 years. I was just terrified you would look down on me or think I was not enough. Scared you did not feel the same, but now Bai Ruxue stops struggling in his arms. He hugs back, his hands desperately clutching onto Fang Zheng's clothes, holding on like a lifeline as the entire piano room falls completely quiet. The only sounds left are their soft breathing and Bai Ruxue's quiet, muffled sobs. Fang Zheng gently pats his back, trying his best to comfort him. Meanwhile, Fang Zheng's heart is bursting, the author absolutely cooked with this sweet confession. Not knowing how long they held each other, Bai Ruxue finally calms down. He looks up from the embrace, his eyes still swollen and red, looking like an adorable, wronged little kitten with a bright pink nose. It is too cute, so Fang Zheng cannot help but gently pinch his nose. No more crying after today, or you will not look pretty anymore. Bai Ruxue glares at him, but does not push his hand away. Instead, he tilts his head slightly and plants a soft kiss on his cheek. It feels like an electric shock coursing through Fang Zheng's body, making him freeze. His heart hammers wildly, feeling like it is about to burst right out. Bai Ruxue's ears flush a deep red, and he quickly looks down, embarrassed.
So I really like you, Fang Zheng. Will you be my boyfriend?
Yes, I will, Fang Zheng shouts immediately, nearly shattering the ceiling of the room.
He says yes 100 times over, literally the best payoff ever. Overjoyed, he sweeps Bai Ruxue up and spins him around and around. Letting out a small gasp, Bai Ruxue clings tightly to his neck. She flashes a brilliant smile that is literally brighter than the sun. He sets her down, her cheeks totally flushed.
Pure shyness. Her eyes are full of sweet, quiet vibes.
He leans in, kissing her incredibly soft lips. Cool, sweet, and perfect, he gently kisses her. Treating her like a fragile treasure, she is stiff at first. But soon she relaxes, closing her eyes to return his kiss. So sweet.
The piano room turns romantic as sunlight streams through the window.
Warmth. A beautiful glow covers them.
Then, boom, his hand accidentally slams onto the piano keys.
A loud, messy chord instantly shatters the perfect romantic moment.
Startled, Bai Ruxue quickly slips away.
Cheeks burning red, she adjusts her skirt and looks down. Too shy to look up.
He chuckles. She glares. What are you laughing at?
Laughing because you are cute, he smiles.
He takes her hand, noticing it is surprisingly cold.
Holding tight, he wants to give her some of his warmth. She trembles, but she does not pull away. She lets him.
By the way,
suddenly he remembers, how on earth did she even know he was meeting Anran here? Curious, he asks. Bai Ruxue pouts at Anran's name. That guy cannot keep a secret, she says. He stilled the tea instantly, trying to make me jealous. Our boy is stunned. He finally gets it.
Anran knew his feelings all along and played wingman.
Why did you play along then? He smiles. I wanted to see if you had the guts, she says. Sly eyes. She did not expect him to actually ask. Bold move. He scratches his head, blushing. He mumbles that she forced his hand by acting so cold. Always hanging out with that CS department hunk, too. She frowns, explaining he is just constantly pestering her. Seriously, I rejected him and returned his milk tea. He brightens. She sighs, confessing she only has eyes for him. How can I look at anyone else? He melts. Overjoyed, he pulls her back into a tight hug.
Leaving the piano room, it is past 4.
The setting sun casts a golden glow on the path. Long shadows stretch. Hand in hand, they walk slowly. Her hand is soft, and he squeezes it tightly. Afraid she will vanish if he lets go. Passers-by stare in absolute shock. The gorgeous art department goddess and an ordinary computer science student? Honestly, this is the ultimate romantic win. Literally nobody expected these two to end up together, and some guys lose their minds seeing Bai Ruxue holding his hand. Their eyes are dripping with pure jealousy and salt as they start whispering behind his back. But Fang Zheng does not care at all. He just grips her hand even tighter to flex on them. Bai Ruxue clearly notices the stares and starts feeling a little self-conscious under all that pressure. She tries to gently pull her hand away, but our boy is not letting go. He leans down and whispers for her not to worry, promising he will protect her from now on. Nobody is going to bully her anymore, period. She looks up at him with a soft gaze.
Her eyes are full of pure emotion as she gives him a gentle nod.
She stops pulling away. By the time they get back to campus, she is completely relaxed. Right then, they run straight into Xiyang and Anran. Xiyang notices the hand-holding immediately.
His eyes practically pop out of his head as he runs over, completely losing his mind.
He yells that Fang Zheng is an absolute legend for actually bagging the school goddess. Anran walks up with a smug grin, teasing Ruxue and offering her congratulations. She jokes that Ruxue finally tamed their resident blockhead, making Bai Ruxue blush instantly. She does not say a word. She just quietly leans closer to Fang Zheng. Fang Zheng laughs and says it is all thanks to their help, so dinner tonight is on him. They can order absolutely anything they want, which Xiyang happily agrees to. He instantly demands they go to the hot pot place right outside the school gates. He claims he has not had it in ages, and Fang Zheng gladly agrees to the plan. Anran looks back and forth between Xiyang and Fang Zheng with a knowing smile. She asks if she deserves a giant matchmaker reward since she basically made this happen. Absolutely. Fang Zheng promises her a massive bonus tonight for her legendary service. So the four of them head straight over to the hot pot joint together. Xiyang and Anran slide into one side of the booth, leaving the new couple on the other. Once the food arrives, Xiyang starts constantly piling meat into Anran's bowl.
He has this low-key, tender look in his eyes, even though Anran complains she can feed herself. She acts annoyed, but cannot hide that incredibly sweet smile on her face.
Watching this play out, Fang Zheng immediately realizes what is actually going on here.
It turns out Xiyang is totally crushing on Anran. He is just too chicken to admit it. He gives Bai Ruxue a little nudge and whispers for her to look at those two. He asks if she thinks something is fishy, and she sneaks a quick glance over.
She nods and whispers that she actually noticed his crush a long time ago.
Xiyang is clearly down bad, but she is still not sure how Anran feels about him. Fang Zheng smiles and points out that Anran's loving eyes tell the whole story.
It is pretty obvious. Bai Ruxue just giggles and decides to drop the subject there.
Instead, she drops a piece of tripe into his bowl and tells him to eat up before it gets cold. Feeling incredibly warm inside, he happily digs in and starts stuffing his face. Once they finish, Xiyang eagerly offers to walk Anran back to her dorm.
Anran does not reject him at all. She just nods and walks off with him.
Watching them walk away together, Fang Zheng and Bai Ruxue just share a knowing smile. He walks Bai Ruxue back to her building, but just as he is about to leave,
she suddenly wraps her arms around him and whispers a sweet thank you.
He asks what she is thanking him for, and she says for loving her and choosing to be together. Fang Zheng calls her a little dummy, saying he is the one who should be saying thank you.
He holds her tight, thanking her for loving him back and giving him this shot as they hold each other close.
She reluctantly lets him go before running back into her dorm. Watching her walk away, his heart is filled with pure happiness. He knows this is just the beginning of a very long road. But he promises to protect her and stay by her side forever. Ever since making things official with Bai Ruxue, his life completely flipped. Before this, his daily routine was just classes, eating, and gaming. And coding, but now he finally has her in his world. Every day feels meaningful, and even though Bai Ruxue acts pretty cold, she's actually an incredibly sweet girlfriend who waits for him every morning. She always stands downstairs with a warm breakfast waiting for him. Sometimes it's soy milk and fritters, other times warm buns and porridge. All of his absolute favorites, and they eat lunch and dinner together. They always head to the cafeteria. She knows he loves spicy food. She always orders him a spicy hot pot while keeping her meal light. During meals, she keeps putting food on his plate. Her eyes are filled with pure love, and during free afternoons, they study in the library together while she reads quietly across from him. Occasionally, she looks up and gives him the sweetest smile. That smile alone gives him endless motivation to walk her back later. They always chat downstairs about funny things happening around campus. Sometimes talking about the future, sometimes just staying completely quiet. Just looking at each other feels like absolute bliss. Honestly, his roommate Xiyang calling him whipped is too funny. Always following Bai Ruxue around and completely abandoning his games. Fang Zheng just laughs it off, saying caring for her is true happiness. Xiyang rolls his eyes, teasing him, but honestly admits there is a major change. Fang Zheng has changed so much since getting with her. Before he was always quiet, but now he is constantly smiling. He has become so much brighter, and Fang Zheng just silently smiles. He knows it is all thanks to her making his life exciting. She gave him confidence and showed him how beautiful love can be. But of course, things cannot stay perfect. The art department's golden boy appears. This rich heir who is chasing Bai Ruxue has been targeting him. He looks for any excuse to strike, like during lunch. He brings his friends over and intentionally shoves into Fang Zheng, spilling soup all over his clothes while acting completely fake. Oops, did not see you there, he smirks smugly. Fang Zheng just frowns, quietly holding back. He does not want a stupid fight ruining Bai Ruxue's good mood. But the guy takes a mile, getting right in his face.
He tells Fang Zheng to stay away, pointing at him.
Calling him average and basic.
Asking if he is even worthy, words that really stab.
Honestly, Fang Zheng has to admit he is pretty average and ordinary. Compared to this rich dude, he really does fall short. Just when Fang Zheng is totally lost, the best girl, Bai Ruxue, steps in.
She shields him immediately, giving that annoying rich boy Zhang Hao a freezing glare.
Warning him to stop crossing the line, she makes him immediately soften up. A fake smile plasters his face as he claims he is just reminding her she deserves better. He warns she will only suffer with him, but she fires back that she does not care. Seriously, she is built different. She flat out says she would happily suffer for Fang Zheng. She warns him that she has rejected him enough times and he needs to stay away. Or she is reporting him to the teachers, and just like that, his face completely drops. He gives Fang Zheng one last death glare before storming off with his crew.
Honestly, watching them walk away, our main character is low-key feeling pretty down. He grabs her hand, quietly apologizing for putting her through all this unnecessary drama. But she just shakes her head, her eyes locked onto his with pure determination. To her, Fang Zheng is the absolute best because he is genuinely kind and real. He is actually responsible, which matters way more than some shallow guy's looks or money. Honestly, she loves him for exactly who he is, not some perfect fake standard. Her words hit him like a warm wave, and he squeezes her hand tight. He promises to work twice as hard to give her the absolute best life. She smiles back, her eyes shining with total, unwavering trust.
After that, Zheng Hao finally backs off and stops bothering them so much.
Fang Zheng knows it is all thanks to her. She made him feel truly safe.
She gave him the ultimate drive to keep moving forward, but new trouble is brewing.
But then a new problem pops up.
His brother Fang Ming and her cousin Chu Yui are happily married and super supportive.
They are thrilled about the couple and even treat them to a nice dinner. During the meal, Fang Ming claps his brother's shoulder, calling him a lucky rascal. He is glad his little bro finally got a clue, since she is amazing. The older brother warns Fang Zheng to treat her right and never upset her. Otherwise, he will have to answer to him, and her cousin playfully agrees. She jokes that even if Fang Zheng is a bit dense, he is super reliable. He is genuinely sincere, so both older siblings can rest easy seeing them together. Fang Zheng just nods and smiles, but not long after, his brother pulls him aside. Alright, so just when you think they are safe, the vibe shifts entirely. With a dead serious face, he asks if Fang Zheng messed up. Our guy is completely stunned. How could he ever do anything to hurt her? But his brother frowns, asking why she has been looking so incredibly weighed down lately. Apparently, her cousin noticed she keeps zoning out and sighing all the time. And when they ask what is wrong, she just stays quiet, making him panic. He insists he has no idea since she never mentioned anything to him. His brother pushes, pointing out girls are sensitive and he needs to apologize if he messed up. Fang Zheng frantically shakes his head, insisting he did not do a single thing wrong. He has been on his best behavior and has not upset her once. But inside, he's panicked. Is she really keeping secrets from him? That night, walking her back, he decides to ask. He asks her straight up if something is wrong, but she just blinks in surprise. Fang Zheng tells her that his brother noticed she has been super distracted and constantly sighing. He looks right into her eyes, asking if he somehow messed up, and made her unhappy, begging her to tell him what is wrong. He promises to change as she stares back. With surprise and emotion in her eyes, she asks if his brother really told him. He nods, and she softly laughs.
She gently pats his head, calling him a dummy and saying she isn't sad.
And isn't hiding anything either. She has just been overthinking. Specifically, where they will work after graduation and which city they will settle down in. Fang Zheng freezes for a second, then it completely clicks. She was literally just stressing over their future. Honestly, that is so wholesome. He laughs, admitting he thought he messed up and made her upset, which she quickly denies. She shakes her head, confessing she's just feeling a bit lost. Unsure of what is ahead, but Fang Zheng tells her not to worry. He squeezes her hand, promising that right after graduation, he will work his absolute hardest to find a good job and make bank. Whichever city she wants to live in, they are going there. He will support her dreams no matter what and build a real home for her. A truly warm home. Bai Ruxue just stares at him. Her eyes well up as she thanks him, but he tells her they are past being polite. They are dating, after all, and plan to spend the rest of their lives together. Her future is literally his future. She can only nod in response. A sweet smile spreading across her face, and honestly, from that moment on,
They start planning everything out, agreeing to move to Shanghai together right after graduation.
He will work as a programmer at a tech company, and she will teach piano at an art school. They want to buy a cozy little apartment, raise a cat and a dog, and just live a simple, happy life. But man, time flies. Suddenly, graduation is right around the corner. Over the years, they have gone through absolutely everything together. The happy moments, the heartbreaking lows, the sweet memories, and the rough patches. But they survived it all. And honestly, their bond only grew stronger through all the struggles. Meanwhile, their friends Xiyang and Anran got together, with Xiyang planning to start a business. And Anne Rand sticking right by his side. Honestly, seeing them makes him genuinely happy. Then comes the eve of graduation. The school hosts a massive graduation gala, and Bai Ruxue is selected to represent the art department. By performing a piano solo, when the big night finally arrives, the auditorium is packed to the brim. As soon as she walks out in a stunning white dress and sits down at the piano, the entire crowd instantly goes silent. Her fingers effortlessly dance across the keys, letting a beautiful melody flow into the room. It is as clear as spring water and as gentle as moonlight. Not gonna lie, the entire audience is completely mesmerized by her playing. Fang Zheng sits in the very front row, watching her absolutely shine on stage. His heart swells with pride. Like, yeah, that is his girlfriend. The girl he has cherished and loved for over a decade. The song ends and the entire crowd erupts into thunderous applause. Bai Ruxue stands up to bow, immediately locking eyes with Fang Zheng. She flashes him a radiant smile, and he smiles right back.
At this point, she is the only person he sees as the show ends.
He finds Bai Ruxue backstage, where she is already removing her stage makeup. Seeing him, she smiles and says, "Hey, you actually came."
He wraps his arms around her from behind, telling her how proud he is.
She turns around, asking with a soft smile if he really means it.
He smiles and tells her she is the best, making her blush.
She plants a gentle kiss on his cheek, thanking him for always staying by her side.
And supporting her, he just laughs, calling her a total silly girl. Holding her tight, he promises to always protect and support her. To be her ultimate shield. Honestly, they just stand there, hugging for the longest time, feeling each other's warmth. Soon, the perfect sunny day of their graduation arrives. Bright sunshine everywhere as they finally put on their graduation gowns.
They snap photos all over campus, and honestly, seeing them hand in hand is so wholesome.
Walking from the classrooms to the library and from the track to the lake, every single spot is filled with their laughter and beautiful memories. Their friends Xiyang and Anran join in on the chaotic fun. Joking around, though, you can low-key feel that bittersweet graduation vibe in the air. Xiyang sighs, saying he cannot believe 4 years flew by so fast. He snaps endless photos of Anran, who just playfully rolls her eyes at him. Yeah, she sighs. No more going to classes or eating at the cafeteria together every day. No big deal, Fang Zheng replies. They can still hang out all the time. Plus, since they are all moving to Shanghai anyway, they can just find apartments close to each other to stay in touch. That is a perfect plan, Anran chimes in instantly. She wants to be neighbors with Bai Ruxue so they can shop together daily and eat delicious food, making Bai Ruxue nod along with a warm smile. She wants that too. Eventually, they take a break on a bench by the lake. A gentle breeze sweeps past, carrying a subtle, sweet floral scent. It is pure bliss. Then Bai Ruxue asks if he remembers their first encounter.
Back in the piano room when they confessed, she rests her head on his shoulder.
He laughs, saying there is absolutely no shot he would ever forget that. She looks so cute crying, but she quickly punches his arm, telling him to shut up. Her cheeks turn completely red as she pouts that it was all his fault. He quickly surrenders, gently holding her hand while admitting something from the heart.
That date was easily the happiest moment of his life, and she softly agrees.
Her eyes are literally filled with pure sweetness. From that point on, his entire world shifted. Nearby, Xiyang and Anran are still fooling around. Watching their friends, the two leads just share a quiet, knowing smile. This is what youth is all about, having your ride-or-die friends.
And the person you love most. Seriously, everything is just perfect.
But once the graduation party is over, they must finally leave campus.
And step into their respective futures. It is now the night before they leave.
Fang Zheng brings Bai Ruxue back to his rented apartment, where Mimi the cat is still waiting. The moment Mimi spots them, she immediately dashes right over. She rubs against their legs, letting out a sweet little meow.
It is like a cute welcome home, though Mimi definitely looks a bit chubbier now.
Bai Ruxue crouches down and gently strokes the cat's head. Fang Zheng chuckles, admitting he spoils the kitty with delicious treats every single day. He smiles and suggests they should absolutely bring Mimi along when they move to Shanghai.
She happily nods, confessing she could never leave their little buddy behind.
They spend hours at the apartment that night, slowly packing up all of their belongings. They stay up late, reminiscing about high school and college, sharing countless memories together. Bai Ruxue asks if they might struggle to adjust once they arrive in Shanghai.
Her voice carries a hint of worry, and Fang Zheng admits it will definitely feel strange. It is a completely new city after all, but he quickly smiles and reassures her.
As long as they are together, there is absolutely nothing to fear. He promises to work his hardest to build a cozy, warm home for her.
She looks at him, her eyes completely filled with trust as she says she believes in him.
She promises to work hard too, so they can build their future together.
He nods and pulls her into a tight, comforting embrace.
On graduation day, Fang Zheng's brother and Ruxue's cousin come to see them off. His brother claps his shoulder, warning the kid to take good care of both himself and Ruxue.
His voice is heavy with reluctance, but Fang Zheng smiles and tells him not to worry at all.
He promises he will, while Bai Ruxue's cousin turns to her with incredibly serious and deeply caring eyes. She warns Ruxue that if anyone treats her badly in Shanghai, she must tell them. They will hop on the next train to defend her, making Ruxue nod with a warm, teary smile. With tears in their eyes, they finally board the high-speed train bound for Shanghai. Honestly, watching them take this massive leap is so wholesome, and Fang Zheng is beyond excited. Shanghai greets them with towering skyscrapers and endless, bustling city energy. Traffic is endless, but they settle downtown. They rent a cozy 2-bedroom apartment that, while on the smaller side, is perfect. It feels incredibly warm, and of course they brought their cat Mimi along. The cat adjusts to the new place instantly, happily zooming around the rooms every single day.
She is loving life, and Fang Zheng soon lands a solid job at a tech firm. Coding is a major grind, and the hours are brutal. Yet he absolutely loves it, especially when heading home after work.
Seeing Ruxue and Mimi waiting there instantly makes all his long day exhaustion completely melt away. Meanwhile, Bai Ruxue also manages to score a pretty sweet gig at a local art school.
She becomes a piano teacher, which is basically her absolute dream job.
Her days are filled with music, and her young students absolutely adore her. They constantly shower her with praise, making their simple, quiet life feel incredibly peaceful and sweet. Every single morning, the two of them wake up together and share a quiet breakfast. Then they head off to work, only to happily reunite the second their shifts end. They cook dinner together, watch a show, and just unwind. They even take Mimi out, and when the weekend rolls around, they go shopping, catch the latest movies, and explore the city hand in hand. They stroll through the local parks or invite their best friends Shi Yang and Anran over.
Shi Yang and Anran settled down in Shanghai too, with Shi Yang starting up his own little tech firm.
Honestly, it was a rough start, but he put in the grind and made it work. The company finally got on track, while Anran was absolutely killing it as an ad designer. She was thriving, and the four of them still hung out all the time. Just talking about life and career, catching up. It felt just like their old school days, and during one dinner get-together, things got real. Shi Yang suddenly asks Fang Zheng when he is finally going to lock it down with Ruzi. Like, when is the wedding? Fang Zheng was completely caught off guard. He glanced over at Bai Ruxue, who was blushing hard. She looked down, totally quiet, while Anran started teasing them about the wedding, too. Anran joked she was waiting to be the bridesmaid, so Fang Zheng smiled and promised it was coming soon. He said he would propose once he saved enough money, and Ruxue looked up at him. Her eyes were full of hope, but little did she know he already had the whole thing planned. He had actually rented out a massive space in the mall near his office. Talk about romantic. He wanted to surprise her right on their 3-year anniversary. He took off from work early to decorate the place, making it look incredibly romantic. We are talking roses everywhere, balloons, and a giant screen set up in the middle. It was playing a beautiful video montage of all their memories together.
He even invited Young, Anran, and both of their families to watch.
They were all there to witness the big moment when he brought Ruxue to the mall that night. The second she saw the setup, she froze, and her eyes instantly filled with tears. Fang Zheng dropped to one knee, pulled out the ring box, and popped it open. Revealing a gorgeous diamond ring, he told her they had been together for 3 whole years. They went from primary school to college and then transitioned into the real world together. They had survived so much together, and he loved her more than he loved his own life. He wanted to spend the rest of his life with her and grow old together. He wanted to build a warm home with her and asked if she would marry him. Ruxue just stared at him as tears streamed down her face. She nodded through her tears and choked out that she absolutely would. He slipped the ring onto her finger, stood up, and pulled her into a tight hug. The crowd erupted into massive cheers and applause, with Young and Anran leading the hype. Their families were also beaming with joy as Young clapped Fang Zheng on the shoulder in celebration. He congratulated him on finally pulling it off, and Fang Zheng could not stop smiling. Meanwhile, Anran hugged Ruxue, absolutely thrilled that her best friend was finally getting married. She congratulated her, saying she could not wait for the big day. Ruxue thanked everyone with a huge smile on her face. Even though she was still crying happy tears, they set the wedding for 6 months later. It was held in Ruxue's hometown, and honestly, the turnout was massive. So many friends and family showed up to support them on the big day. Ruxue looked absolutely stunning in her white wedding dress, like a literal angel. As she walked down the aisle toward him, Fang Zheng felt like he was living a dream. His brother clapped him on the back, congratulating him on marrying such an amazing girl. Fang Zheng smiled and thanked his brother, but his eyes never left his beautiful bride. Ruxue's mother held her hand tightly, telling her to take good care of herself. And of course, to take care of her new husband, Fang Zheng, as well. With her eyes all red, Bai Ruxue just quietly nods. During the beautiful wedding ceremony, they finally exchanged their rings. Making a lifetime promise, Fang Zheng vows to take her as his wife. For richer or poorer, in sickness and in health. He promises to love and care for her forever. Bai Ruxue vows to stay by his side, through wealth or poverty. In sickness and in health, she will love him forever. Supporting him without ever looking back, these simple vows hit different.
Yet they hold the ultimate weight of their love. And then, the wedding ends.
Next, they head to the Maldives for a gorgeous honeymoon. We are talking blue skies, white clouds, and endless sandy beaches. It is a literal paradise where they stroll along the shore. They sunbathe on the sand and swim in the crystal ocean. Every single day is pure bliss. But then, Bai Ruxue speaks up. Leaning gently on his shoulder, she softly asks if they will always be this happy. Holding her hand tightly, Fang Zheng smiles and promises they absolutely will. As long as their hearts stay connected, nothing can stop them. With constant love for each other, they are bound to be this happy forever. She nods, an incredibly sweet smile spreading across her face. Returning home, their daily life settles back into a peaceful routine. But it is cozy, warm, and then boom, she gets pregnant a year later. Hearing the big news, Fang Zheng literally almost jumps out of his skin. He pulls her close, showering her forehead with kisses, full of anticipation. Throughout the pregnancy, his husband duties go into absolute overdrive. Every single morning, he whips up a massive, healthy breakfast for her. By night, he reads her stories and keeps her company on walks. Whenever morning sickness kicks in, he is right there, being incredibly patient. Pouring warm water and wiping her mouth, he does it all. As her baby bump grows, her face literally glows with pure happiness. Whenever she feels the baby kick, she immediately grabs his hand. She presses it to her belly so he can experience the movement. Honestly, that feeling is so magical, and then, boom, 10 months fly by. Bai Ruxue safely delivers a baby girl who looks exactly like her. She has snow-white skin and sweet, curved eyes. She is absolutely adorable, and they name her Fang Nianxue. It means he will always cherish Bai Ruxue, and life gets even better. Sure, their schedule gets totally packed, but they are happier than ever. Coming home from work to see their daughter's sweet smile is everything. All his stress just melts away as they raise her together. From changing messy diapers to late-night feeding, they do it all. Playing together might leave them exhausted, but it is worth it. Meanwhile, their close friends Shiyang and Anran finally tie the knot. They have a baby boy who is around the same age. They often host play dates, watching the two kids have a blast together. At this point, everyone is thriving as time just flies on by. Just like that, their daughter turns 3, and she is honestly the cutest little shadow ever.
She is always trailing right behind them until one day she randomly asks her dad a question.
Wanting to know how he and Mom first met, she makes him smile. He scoops her up and starts telling her the story of him and Bai Ruxue. It goes all the way back to a strawberry candy in 3rd grade and that rainy college exam night. From confessing his love in a piano room to grinding together in Shanghai, the little girl listens, totally locked in. With sparkling eyes, she asks if he really loves her mom that much. He smiles. He loves her more than anything. Looking over at Bai Ruxue, he sees her looking right back. A sweet smile spreads across her face as the sunset fades. Honestly, this emotional payoff is just so beautiful. Holding his daughter and gripping Bai Ruxue's hand, he feels completely overwhelmed with pure happiness. He finally has the exact life he always wanted, surrounded by the people he loves most. A wonderful child and a partner who is also his best friend. It is simple but perfect, and he is endlessly grateful for the day he met Bai Ruxue. Grateful that she stuck by him through a decade of crazy ups and downs. Thankful for her endless belief in him and for building this warm home. The road ahead is still long, but they are going to walk it hand in hand. Watching every single sunset and facing every tide of life as a team. Growing old together, knowing their love will only get richer over the years. Their beautiful life will just keep blooming sweeter and sweeter. And that is how this absolute hidden gem ends.